Yeah, I'm ready to do this thing.
All right, well, let's do this thing.
Let's do it. Welcome, craft beer friends, to season 7, episode 12 of Tap the Craft podcast, the last episode of 2020. I am Denny Lewis, coming to you from Boise, Idaho, and my partner in craft, the dog whisperer, and my favorite Florida man and homebrewer from Tampa, Florida, Mr. Chris McKenzie. How you doing tonight, Chris? And of course, what is in your glass?
Oh, now that we've got all of our technical nonsense taken care of, I'm doing really, really well. And in my glass this evening, I love that we can do this. I'm drinking a 2017 Chimay Blue Grand Reserved barrel.
Beautiful.
Barrel.
It's a big bottle too. Yeah.
It's I believe it's 12 and a half ounces. Actually, not huge, but man.
Oh, it looks bigger on camera.
Camera.
That's what she said.
That's why I film it, but man, this beer is, we got some light in here, but it's a dark copper color.
Yeah. Nice.
And it is so smooth. It's got some good barrel going on and some oak and vanilla. Man, I really like this one. Cool. I really like this beer.
I see you decided to go ahead and erect your own beer wall.
Well, I couldn't, I got so jealous of yours. Now, as soon as I can get some, lights hooked up into, into my, setup back here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It disappeared.
Oh my gosh. What happened?
Don't tell all the secrets.
Oh man, I thought it was real.
This is Anchor Brewing.
Oh,
yeah. This is Anchor Brewing.
Is that Anchor? Did you visit Anchor Brewing, or is that just a?
I didn't. So what I did today was, as I was looking for screens and stuff to pull up,
yeah,
I was having some fun with it. But I typed in the word brewery, just searched for searched for the word brewery.
I mean, can you use some of the photos that you've taken on your trips to breweries and as a background that you can then like relive those moments?
Yeah, I can use any photo that I would like. So I can take something off of Facebook or take something off of. I was trying to get really creative. Like what was on there that what do we have that we could put in there that would be fun to do? And I'm like, oh well, I can't really think of anything. Let's just do a beer wall or something like that.
No, we're a matching set now.
I know.
We each got our beer wall, so it works.
It worked out really nice. So what about you, Denny? How's your day going, and what are you drinking?
You know what? It's fantastic because I just have one more day, and then it's the 31st, meaning the last day of 2020, and then I've got Friday off, and I'm going to enjoy welcoming in 2021. We'll see how 2021 goes. So I'm looking forward to recording this right at the brink of. I mean, we're cutting it close. We've got to record this show, and then I got to edit it and put it up so you guys will have it in the morning to celebrate New Year's with. So we're going to do that.
All because I was here camping.
Which is you do have some beautiful photos. I noticed you did have some nice photos.
Okay, we'll get rid of that. That's gone. But
that was making me want to go camping, man, in Florida.
We had a lot of fun, granted, but we decided to go camping during the coldest night in Florida's history in 25 plus years.
Oh boy, nice. Yeah, cold. Well, hey, you got to experience what all camping has to offer you. At least it wasn't sweltering hot where you couldn't cool off and just sweating in your tent. It's good that it's a little bit cold. You got to snuggle up with Megan. And drink more beer to keep warm.
Stay by the fire, drink more beer. But it reminded me of my time in the Boy Scouts. My very first camping trip was a trip like that. I was like, oh, I'll take this, Coleman sleeping bag that I've had since I was 8, and my brother and I went out and we froze our asses off.
Well, nice. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. But what am I drinking? I was going to drink something else, but on the way back from work before coming home, I stopped at the store to get something. And whenever I stop at the store, I've got to go look at the beer aisle, and I found 2 6-packs that I really was excited to find. And the one I'm drinking tonight, I got a couple beers that I'm drinking from. It's a Aloha Death. This is from Iron Horse Brewing out of Washington, and they do the Quilter's Irish Death. Well, let me get that in front. And they have variants of it, and this is the coconut variant. So it's basically that same dark. It's like a dark strong ale, but it's not too. It's really smooth and it's hard. They don't really have a style that's assigned to it. I'll just call it a dark ale that's smooth. And I love that beer. I drink it a lot.
Okay.
And then they have some other variants, but by far the coconut variant is my favorite. I think it's not too strong. It's got a little bit, chocolate in there and a little bit of that coconut just to give it a little bit of accent. And man, it's so smooth and so good that I had to grab a 6-pack. And then I also grabbed a 6-pack of one of my favorite beers that's in Idaho from Sawtooth Brewery. They do this beer called Mustache Ride, which come on, the name is
I'd buy it based on that alone.
And it's a black rye IPA. So it's a black IPA, which I love, and it's got rye in it, which I love. It's a combination of two of my favorite things in beer. So I grabbed a 6-pack of that. Every time that beer gets brewed and I see it in the stores, I grab it. I should have grabbed 2. But I'm hoping it'll still be there in a week when I go back for some more beer and I grab another 6-pack.
All right.
But yeah, that's what I'm drinking. And this is going to be a shorter show because, like I said, we need to get this thing rolled out and ready for everyone in the morning. So I don't want to be up all night editing it. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be about an hour or just a little bit under an hour is what we're trying to hold it down to. Yeah. But in case we do have anyone new listening to this show, I always like to tell people what Tap to Craft podcast is all about. We are an educational podcast. We like to focus around celebrating all things craft beer because we want to help our listeners along in their craft beer journeys and their adventures. Just have them be able to talk about beer and learn about beer and feel more comfortable out there ordering beer if they're new to craft beer. And even the guys that have been drinking craft beer for 50 years, you know what? We've got plenty to offer you guys too. So that's what we're about. And you're listening to episode 168. We're recording on Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. And in this episode, we're going to focus on wrapping up 2020 by reviewing our Untappd Year in Beer 2020 stats. Yeah, it's pretty short and sweet, but it's always fun to find out, how many beers we drank or at least logged into the app, and the styles that was like our favorite style that year, and maybe some people that we shared beers with. So it's fun. So we're gonna do that. We have some listener feedback, which I'm really excited to share, which was really nice. And then, of course, Chris and I are going to have some great conversation. We've already had some good, fun conversation already, and we're going to continue that along in this episode. So before we get started, I just want to let everyone know that that we're supported by some really great listeners who feel that they want to give a little bit back to us to help us provide the show to them and help cover some of our operating costs. So this episode is brought to you in part by our satisfied Patreon supporters like Mike Allen and William Slimmer. They are both our virtual producers. And we also have Tom Byrne, Jeff Seiler, Johan Hauberg, Tara Carlson, Chad Lamassa, and Mark Church. Many of these people are online right now watching us live who want to buy us a virtual beer. Hey, we love beer. And if you want to go ahead and throw us a little cash for a virtual beer, hey, we'll take it. We appreciate it. And if you enjoy the content that we provide, we invite you to support the show by toasting your host or buying us virtual beer or even becoming your own virtual producer. And you can explore all the options on our support page by visiting patreon.com/taptocraft. All right, Chris, it's time to give away some stuff. Yeah. We're giving away some stuff from Brewer Shirts. So this contest is pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and help give a little bit back to our Patreon supporters by allowing, we're doing this contest. It's if you're a supporter, then you're entered into the contest and you have a chance to win. So, we have, what do we have here? 8 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight people that are supporting us monthly, and we really appreciate it. So guess what? One of you 8, you have a 1 in 8 chance of winning a $20. Is this the $20 gift card, or is it going to be something different?
It's going to be a gift card. Okay. So the $20 gift card, like we discussed with the guys at Brewer Shirts, hey, it's just going to make it that much easier in order to instead of going, okay, well, what do you want? What size shirt do you want? What color do you want it? What design do you want? I think this just makes it a lot easier. So guys, normally also we'd be, I'd share the screen with you so you could see what we were going to be doing.
Is it still not working?
It's right here. It's working on my phone.
Okay, I can kind of see that. It's kind of there.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my light down a little bit, set the mood for some winning.
Okay, is it spinning? I can see it spinning, kind of really slow. I don't hear anything.
Okay,
it's very soft.
All right,
it's still spinning. Did you touch it to spin?
No, not yet. Because I put, dude, I set this thing up. It was going to be a lot of fun. There's music and everything. Okay, so.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I can hear it.
I had to turn off the.
Oh yeah.
Mike Allen.
Oh, Mike Allen, big winner. Mike is online.
Mike Allen, you were the winner of a $20 gift card from the folks over at brewershirts.com. So Mike, what I need you to do, and we've talked to you previously, I know, but send us over an email to tapthecraft@gmail.com. Send me your email address and also your mailing address. I think they're just able to send it over to you via email, but just in case they need to mail it to you, please provide me with both. Okay, so send an email over to tapthecraft@gmail.com and we will get that over to you here very shortly.
All right. Congratulations, Mike. We appreciate your support, and guess what? We're giving back. So enjoy that $20 gift card and let us know what you end up purchasing and maybe take a photo. Actually, maybe you can wear it. Because Mike, our next episode is good because Mike Allen is a virtual producer. And one of the benefits of being a producer is you get to pick a topic and come on a show and help us talk about whatever topic you pick. And I think we're going to do that next episode.
Yep.
So maybe if it comes in time, you can wear that shirt and so you show your support to Brewer Shirts as well.
Yeah, I utilized it for Christmas. I don't know if anybody else did, but I bought a couple of shirts and things like that too. So
nice.
And I used our promo code TapTheCraft2020.
TapTheCraft2020.
Got 15% off.
15% off of orders of 20.
No, it's just any full price item. Yeah,
full price item.
Full price item. Okay. So, we got to turn that back down now. Denny Luce is watching now. So now we got to.
Oh yeah, I'm watching.
Keep our act together.
Okay. All right. So time to talk about some feedback. We got some feedback, and I'm going to embarrass a few of our listeners that are listening to us right now on live, but hey, we love feedback and we love the interaction. And it's been kind of dry for a few months. We had some recently, but we went through a dry spell where we didn't have anything. No one was really writing into the show. So I'm glad to go ahead and have this opportunity. So I'll start it off, Chris. What we're going to do is I'll read a comment that Tara Carlson left on our holiday cookie ale video link or post on our Facebook page. And then I'll go into an email that she wrote, which I loved. And I thought, you know what, this is wonderful. And I'd love to see other listeners maybe next year, at the end of next year, do something similar and share their year in beer, especially like 2020 was a rough year. And it was hard to go out and enjoy the brewery scene and going and do your beercations and stuff because everything was shut down.
Yep.
But there were still highlights of beer each month. And that's what Tara did. And I just loved it. So we'll get to that too. And Chris and I will bounce back and forth between the different months. So we're sharing the responsibility, and I can drink a little bit while he's talking. And he can drink a little bit when I'm talking.
I love this. I'll admit it though. This first couple of sentences.
Yeah. This is great. I literally LOL'd when I read this, and everyone was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this comment." So here it is. Tara Carlson commented on the holiday ale cookie video. She says, "I found the video very intimidating. Spotless kitchen, no clutter on the counter, perfect appliances, room in your refrigerator. Now I know you live in a Hallmark movie." Oh, Tara, if you only knew, we kind of do.
Yeah, Tara, I'll admit to you right now, I have no room in my fridge. My computer is not my computer. My kitchen is not spotless. My computer desk has random nonsense all over it, like this.
Yeah. Oh, that's not nonsense. That's
right?
Stitch, right? Or is
That's
that
Stitch.
Lilo?
Right,
Stitch.
that's the
Okay.
Stitch. Megan's a big fan. So
Oh, nice.
just
Nice.
random stuff everywhere. So we do not live in a Hallmark movie. We live in kind of a Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the comment which we loved. Fantastic. Thank you, Tara. We really loved it. Then, like I mentioned, she sent an email with her year in beer review month by month. And Tara, so this is Tara's beer lessons from 2020. So I'll start off January, February, and I'll let Chris go in the next two months. We'll just go back and forth. So in January, she says, I learned the magic of a repurposed building at Gray Sail Brewing of Rhode Island. The brewery is in a 1920s era macaroni factory, and the tap room is in the house of a former factory proprietor, complete with the original 1920s era murals on the walls. And their leaning chimney beer reaffirmed my love of lightly smoked porters. Now, I remember that Tara, one of the things when we had Tara on the show is that she mentioned she does enjoy smoky beers. So maybe this was, this just helps reaffirm that she does enjoy lightly smoked beers. That's good. So that was January. Now, remember, January, February, March was still, early in the year, and it wasn't shut down yet, right? We hadn't really gone into shutdown mode. So she was still traveling around enjoying beers at breweries. So February, she says, I learned when faced with a warehouse-sized package store, making conversation with a local who was pulling out beer packs from the cooler without hesitation. His recommendations were spot on. He led me to Lawson's Sip of Sunshine IPA. It's one of my bucket list beers, by the way. And so that's great, right? Which I'm shocked that Tara never had Larson's Sip of Sunshine IPA, but I'm wondering, maybe Tara's, well, I'm sure she's heard us talk about it on the show. But hey, I'm glad she found it, because yeah, that's one of my bucket list beers that I need to try, because, and I'm hoping that, once I do have it, I won't be disappointed, because the hype was up high. But so far, everyone I've heard that's had it it's lived up to the hype. It's actually a very, very good beer.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, why don't you continue on?
So let's continue on for the month of March. I learned making the best beer in Long Island City, New York, still does not ensure financial success. One of the owners of ICONYC Brewing.
It's Iconic.
Oh, geez.
Like ICO, New York City. And it probably means something. I think she told us what it meant too, but it's Iconic.
Iconic Brewing was hoping that this would be the year he could finally quit his day job. Not sure if it is going to happen this year. The Lemon Drop Pils was the best Pilsner I had since visiting Prague.
Yeah, that sounds delicious too.
It does. I've had a couple of beers kind of like a lemon centered. And man, they were so good. For the month of April, I learned the value of a caring beer community during troubled times. Tamara Holland of Craft Beer Girls B&B, Maryland, led several Zoom happy hours. Conversation usually strayed far from beer, but it lightened the heart. I was glad I had a good local beer to tout. Molly's Brewery Ark and Dove, New England IPA. Oh, yeah. And I'm repping Maryland breweries here. So Baltimore was one of my Christmas gifts I got. Yeah, so those virtual happy hours are a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a couple.
We did
3, right? I think we had 3.
Yeah, we've had a few. For those of you
we should start those up again.
I was gonna say, for those of you that are currently watching us on Facebook Live, should we do them again?
Yeah, chime in. Let us know if you guys enjoyed those. I mean, we had some good turnout. But yeah, okay. All right, let's go to May. So in May, she learned not to fear the ABV. I was given several cans of Nightmare Brewing Company's Exposure by my daughter. Once you get past the 10.1% ABV and the horrific can art, which is also beautifully rendered and like a train wreck, you cannot look away. There is some truly lovely beer. And I have to agree, we had some Nightmare beers come in. Again, that special distributor that brings in strange things that we wouldn't normally expect to come in, brought in some Nightmare. And I looked at it, but I saw the artwork, and I just was like, I don't know if I want to support, almost satanic, beer
Mhm.
art and stuff. So I kind of steered away from that and didn't try. Plus the beers were a little bit on the expensive side, but now I'm kind of kicking myself because maybe I should have grabbed some because Tara really liked them.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that was May. In June, I learned you should choose your town wisely. My daughter in Bel Air, Maryland has 3 microbreweries within walking distance of her apartment and several more just a few miles away. She made a delivery to me with some sample beers from all of them. Alecraft's Fresh Pints of Bel Air, African Queen was my favorite from the haul. Yeah, nice. And she has a good daughter too to be bringing beers.
Seriously. Yeah. Somebody else, I don't know if it was them or if it was somebody else. Chad Lamassa was he checked into Fresh Pints of Bel Air.
Oh,
Somebody did. I remember seeing it.
yeah, because I think I think we commented on it, right?
Yeah. All right. So in the month of July, I learned that picking up the wrong beer can lead to some new discoveries. I had bought Molly's Brewery Galaxy Queen for Jim's birthday, thinking I was getting an IPA. Nope. It was a dry hop blonde ale. Jim gave it 4.5 caps on Untappd. Score. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I've made some great beer mistakes.
Yeah.
Not good ones, but made some great ones. August, I learned social distancing is easy at an outdoor tap room at a farm brewery. I love getting recommendations from the beer tender. The Slate Farm Brewery's Hawaiian Roller Coaster was certainly a different kind of pale ale.
Okay. Nice. All right. In September, she learned the toll that poor handling takes on the quality of the beer. She had a delightful taste of Type A IPA at Conshohocken. Conshohocken Brewery Company. Ordered one during the dinner at a restaurant, and it did not even seem like the same beer. True to Denny though, I drank it, and I did not enjoy it, but I drank it. So sorry, Tara, but yeah, I'm a sucker for just drinking beer. If I can, I'll drink it, even if it's bad. Went back to the brewery the next day for the good stuff. So it is amazing that if there's some places that I've gone and had beer that you can definitely tell was either old or the lines weren't kept up or it just had some off flavors. And I don't go back to those establishments, what if it's a bar or pub or whatever, because I know that the beer is not going to be, it's not going to be the best it can be. And so it's something it can definitely be a risk, and poor handling of beer is definitely a bad thing. And I, like I mentioned before, I've even had some beers that even in a 6-pack from the brewery, I could have some cans that are like perfect, tastes wonderful. And I'll get one can that just has like it's off. Something happened when it was in the packaging, whether it got more oxygen into the can. So it oxidized a little bit more than it should have. And it just gave off some off flavors. And I mean, it's just weird. Sometimes you just get a bad batch, but definitely if the handling is bad, it's sitting out in the sun. It's getting, it's just bad. It's getting heat struck or whatever. It's not good. All right. So then I got October. I learned visiting outdoor tap rooms with my friend Marty in pouring rain just makes the experience more memorable. Enjoyed Billsburg Brewery's B2 Oats Brown Ale. I don't know. Is that supposed to be
Boats?
B2 Oats?
Sure.
I don't know. Brown Ale. And I learned that Brad, the Budweiser beer fairy, is real and even more delightful in person. We know he's real from our Zoom meetings. Yeah. We know he's real, but yeah, I bet that was a fun day. I did see pictures of you guys out in the rain, driving in the rain, sitting out in the rain, enjoying beer in the rain. Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Especially now, probably in wintertime, it's probably even worse.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, November, I learned when my homebrewer husband tasks me with finishing the IPA in the kegerator so he can put on his Belgian quad, I will not enter any new check-ins on Untappd until this job is complete.
And I didn't see her check anything in probably all November because she was trying to chug down that.
Damn, that's a commitment. That's commitment, Tara. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
And December, I learned the fastest way to dry out spent grains is to toast them on the stove in a cast iron skillet, like you would toast nuts or malling spices. and sipping a Union Craft Brewing Snow Pants Oatmeal Stout made the drying time pass very pleasantly.
Nice.
I also learned adding spent grains to a Greek yogurt pizza crust kicks it up a whole bunch of notches. I cannot wait for the beer lessons 2021 will bring. Thank you, Tap the Craft, for helping me along in this journey.
You're welcome, Tara.
That's
anytime.
awesome.
Anytime. Okay, now next. Today I was getting home from work. As I always do, I go out and check the mailbox and pull out the mail and bring it in. I open the mailbox and there's a box inside the mailbox. And I'm like, oh, Sarah must have got something from someone. I pull it out, look at the thing, and no, it's for me. I got mail, and I look at it, who sent it to me, and it was Jeff Seiler. And I'm like, oh my gosh, one of our listeners sent me, a little gift into your gift. And I opened it up, and inside was a card, and a Christmas card. And I opened it up, and here's what it said. Now, Jeff, sorry, I don't want to embarrass you, but we love hearing feedback from our listeners, and we like to share it with everyone else to let everyone know that listens, because I think about 5% of our listenership actually we have a good interaction with it, the interaction with the show. 95% doesn't. They just listen and enjoy and never interact. And then finally we'll convince them to actually write in, and then we have a good interaction. But we love hearing feedback, and we love getting gifts, and we love getting beer gifts. So it was very surprising, and it was a great end of 2020 for sure. So the card inside read, Denny, 2020 has been crazy, and you guys and Tap the Craft have made life a little more enjoyable. Here's a little something to let you know listeners truly appreciate all the work you do to bring us Tap the Craft. Keep up the great work. Cheers. And inside the box was one of my bucket list beers that I've been talking about. Every time I hear this beer mentioned, I talk about, gosh, I really want to have that beer one day. And inside the box was that beer. And that beer is from Foothills Brewing, Sexual Chocolate, Coffee Infused, Bourbon Barrel Aged Russian Imperial Stout. Thank you, Jeff. Really, really, truly humbled and thankful for your wonderful words in the card. And of course, sending a beer that I really wanted to try. It really means a lot that that you listen and understand our needs.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, did you receive some beer mail too?
I did. I received exactly the same thing that you received. The only difference between your box and mine is that in the card it was addressed to Chris and not Denny.
All right, there we go. We're both appreciated. That's even better. That's
so
fantastic.
Jeff, thank you very much for that, man. Taking the time and taking the time and the money and the stuff to do that. We truly appreciate that.
We do, for sure.
And I'm really excited to drink that beer. I
am too. I almost thought, I'm gonna drink it tonight, but then I thought, you know what? I want to just be able to pour this into a nice snifter, sit back and just enjoy it, savor it, and get everything I can out of it without having to focus about staying ABV level, so I don't go too crazy and start slurring my words, and the show goes on forever and I can't stop talking like I am doing right now. So it's bad enough to drink these 7% beers. 10% beers are a little bit too much.
That's what I'm having.
Yeah, I know, but you can handle it. You're still young.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, if you would like to be like Tara and Jeff and give us feedback, you can do that many different ways. You can either write us an email like Tara did, just do it at tapthecraft@gmail.com, or you can do it on Twitter or Instagram. Just follow us at tapthecraft. And of course, on our Facebook page, where a lot of listeners right now are watching us do this, you can just go ahead and leave your own post on our wall, or respond to the show post or any of the other posts that we post, and we will gladly respond back to you. We love interacting with our listeners. And of course, we have our tapthecraft.com website. Go visit the website and get a lot more information. It's like a one-stop shop to get a little bit of everything. We have a little bit of Instagram in there, a little bit of, I don't think we have any Twitter in there, but we have videos from our YouTube channel. I'm adding a page for some gift ideas for shopping for someone with that you want to buy some craft beer items for, stuff that we personally use and stuff that we think that you might enjoy, some books and other things. I'm getting that all set up. So yeah, and we have an Amazon link to our affiliate thing. So if you do shop on Amazon and you want to help us out without even having to put any money out of your own pocket that you know to help, you can do that just by going to our website, and down about a third of the way down, you'll find a banner for Amazon in there. If you click that banner, it'll take you to Amazon, and that link that you just followed, if you buy things with that link, we will get a very, very, very small portion of the purchase price that Amazon will give to us for sponsoring them on our website. Yeah, so it's like a little small token to help us out over, many things you might buy. And yeah, it doesn't matter if you do decide to buy something big. That even helps us more, because the big ticket items, those do give us, in the dollars, we'll get a couple dollars.
Yeah.
But literally small stuff gives us like and we have a couple 1 cent and 2 cent, and it's all completely, we have no idea who's doing it. All we see is what the item was and how much commission we get. That's it. We don't know who bought it. It's totally private. So don't worry about us knowing all your little dirty secrets. I know that somebody likes fake poop. It's okay. I don't know who. I'm not going to blame you. It's all good. It's just, hey, I get a few cents for it. I'm happy. It's fine.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that, guys. And I'm putting that up on our Facebook page right now. All that little stuff does add up to big stuff in the long run, guys. And we do appreciate that, from hosting a website to even getting giveaways and stuff like that. Now, granted, we're fortunate enough to have sponsors that give us things to give away to you guys. But we really appreciate that. Even if, like Denny said, it's 1 and 2 cents here and there. Hey man, it does make a difference in the long term for us. So
yeah. All right, Chris, how are we doing on time? Do you want to do a couple Untapped the Craft beers, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think, you know what, we'll get into them. I'll sort through them as best as I can on the fly, and we'll get some in there too. For all of you guys that like to throw fun beers in there that I can't pronounce, I'm skipping those. It doesn't look too bad though from what I'm looking at.
Well, because we're recording on a different night than we normally do, so we might have tripped them up. They may not have, known. They probably put them in Sunday and not Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, but I just saw my buddy Jordan Clark just hopped on here a little bit ago on Facebook. Hope you guys are doing well, and Kaylee and all the kids. Cheers to you guys. So we're gonna get started with our Untapped the Craft segment. Again, if you guys want to be featured on this segment, please make sure you follow me on Untapped at MCK1345. And when we record, which is usually Monday nights at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, we'll read your check-ins from now until the previous 24 hours. So we'll get through, let's see what we got here. We'll get into Tom Byrne is drinking a Sekiu by E9 Brewing, which I believe is out of North Carolina.
No. E9 is Washington.
Well,
yeah, it's a brewery that's
Tacoma.
Wait, is it Tacoma? Okay, I said Washington. I'm like, wait, is it Washington or Utah? And I was pretty sure it was Washington. Yeah, they're doing some good beer. And he kind of turned me on to them by seeing his check-ins, and I was iffy because we get a lot of breweries in, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be good or not. And I wait and see if Tom tries it and what he says, and he like all of a sudden like boom, these are all high scores. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go try some E9. Yeah. But yeah, I just had a beer from them last night at Growler Guys. We actually met a friend for some beers last night at the pub. And I can't remember the beer I had, but yeah, it was a good New England IPA that had like a lot of flavors going on. It was really pleasant. I really enjoyed it.
Well, Tom gets to be your investigative reporter then.
Yeah.
But he checked into this beer. It just says last actual Christmas Day beer. He gave it a 4-cap rating. No notes on that one. We'll go to the next one with Henrik. He's drinking a Lost All Reason, Simcoe Cryo, Citra Cryo, Ella, Idaho 7, and El Dorado edition. Now, I can't pronounce this, but I do believe this is Omni Pollo. Because the glasses that he's drinking out of looks very Omni Pollo-like.
Are they, what are they called? Tiku?
No,
just the ones with the long stems and the...
No, they're basically like the Tiku without the stem.
Okay, they're stemless Tikus.
Yeah.
Okay.
But reading a little further into this, I'm completely wrong. So I don't know. let us know. Henrik, if I'm wrong, let me know. We gave you all the ways to get in touch with us. Everything's at Tap the Craft. Okay. He gave it 4.25 caps. No notes on that beer. That was from about 10 hours ago. Let's see. Next on the list. Cool. Got to scroll through a couple things. Got to stop on this one just because of the Baby Yoda glass. Florida Steve is drinking a Huey by Lupulin Brewing Company. Deliciously juicy with a good rind zing on the finish. 4 caps on that beer. Let's see. Scrolling. Johann Hallberg is drinking a Double Quack by Duck Pond Brewing, and he's drinking that. Everybody's still checking in at the Untapped at Home. Duck Pond Brewing can be found in Sweden, in Gothenburg.
Okay.
If anybody's curious about that one. 4 cap rating for that beer. No notes on that one. I got to read this one, Denny.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not going to because it doesn't have a good rating. Skipping on to the next one. There's a couple check-ins from me, which I didn't do any notes or rating. Art Warcheck is drinking a Weil by the Suarez family brewing at his favorite check-in, North Phil Harmstead, which is somewhere around the Akron area. Gave it 4.5 caps for that beer, but no notes to go along with it. This is a good check-in too. Johann Hallberg is drinking a Frank Squared by War Pigs Brew Pub, 4.25 caps and no notes. I checked into a Christmas Bomb 2020. Chad,
nice.
Yeah, man, that was so good. 4.25 caps from me. Chad, you said must be tough to drink out of a pine cone, sir. I am a seasoned professional. There's a big pine cone that we brought home from camping.
Okay, you weren't like putting drips on the ends and like trying to sip it off.
No,
right?
I put the pine cone here and then poured it over the pine cone, and it was like a luge of just no. Anyway, but yeah, the pine cone's as big as the bottle. Let's put it that way. Speaking of Chad Lamassa, continuing his check-in streak. Yep, continuing his check-in streak with a Sweet Tarts by Peak Organic Brewing Company. 3.5 caps for this beer, but no notes to go along with it. Let's see here. Brian G is drinking a Space Time by Good City Brewing in Verona, Wisconsin. Hashtag Wisconsin Beer Wednesday. 3.75 caps for this beer. Matt Strong, another dog whisperer friend of mine, drinking a Mad Elf by Trogs Independent Brewing. 4 caps for that beer. Definitely got to click a toast for that one. That's a really good beer if you can get a hold of it. Let's see.
You can't drink more than one though.
No.
At a time.
No.
It'll get you ripped.
It really will. That beer itself is clocking in at 11%.
11? Yeah, I knew it was high. Yeah.
But it's so good. Let's see. Next on the list, something from Bearded Iris. Mr. Jeff Seiler is drinking Tunnel Vision, double dry hopped with Citra. Absolutely delicious, hazy IPA, super citrusy and dank. Great stuff. 4.25 caps for that check-in. And let's see, next on the list, we'll have to refresh and see. Chad Lamassa, you're going to be my last check-in. He's drinking a Modern Tart by Upland Brewing Company. 3.75 caps on that check-in. And Denny, that's what everybody was drinking. And that last check-in was about an hour ago.
Wow, they're saving their energy for tomorrow night. So
you have to prime tonight. You have to prime.
So basically, you start drinking tonight and just don't stop until after midnight tomorrow.
So I had that beer today.
So St. Bernardus.
St. Bernardus Christmas.
Yeah. See, I know my beers. I can see even when you're pointing there, I can still tell what it is.
I don't think that's Chimay, but everything I've had today, other than that Christmas bomb, was all Belgian.
Nice.
It's a rather tasty day.
Nice. Yeah, I've been drinking some Belgians myself. I had a Belgian quad last night. It was one that I'd had before Untapped, I think, and I didn't realize I hadn't checked it in. It was the Golden Drake. I call it Golden Drake. It's probably Drac. I don't know, the DR AAK,
Uh-huh.
the 9000 quad. It's not the best quad that I've had. I gave it like a 3.5 cap rating. At first I was like, oh my gosh, it's way too sweet. It came across really sweet, but then after I let it warm up a little bit, it kind of mellowed out, and I got a lot of like white or yellow raisins or white raisins, those white raisins. It's a lot of that flavor, and maybe even a hint of peaches, like not like super sweet peaches, but like maybe dried peaches, like just a hint of that in that. So it was really a unique flavor that that I was getting at it, but that sweetness was some of that dried fruit sweetness, like dried maybe some dried peaches and dried white grapes or something like that. But it was good.
That sounds
it was better than
good.
I thought. Yeah, I bet it was better than I thought it was. But again, probably not as good as Jim Cudzel's quad he has in his kegerator right now. I bet that one's like prime.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
All right. Well, that's fantastic.
I've got the Corona.
Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't
going Corona.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's get into the brew buzz. We're gonna slide right in and get this show wrap it up here shortly. But before we do that, it's time for the brew buzz, which is devoted to discussing various beer-related topics. And this week we discuss our Untappd year in beer 2020 stats. And
you beat me again.
I know, but you beat me in one category there, but it's okay. It was a slow year, so this was your year to catch up to me. Actually, you could have passed me and everything because we weren't going out.
I know, but I still haven't hit 2,500 unique check-ins yet.
That's okay. You will. So I'll start us off because you just got done talking about the Untappd thing. So I'll just go ahead and read off my stats, and then Chris, we'll see how you did. So, I guess for anyone that's not familiar, Untappd is a social beer drinking application. It's kind of like it's kind of like a mix of Facebook and I don't know what other rate things. I don't know. I guess it's just like it's like Facebook for beer collectors, and so you can check into a beer, you can rate it by a star rating, and you can choose some characteristics that the beer has that you notice in there, and then you can. You check into it with a picture if you want, and then people can go ahead and comment on it or toast you, and they might be able to add that to a wish list if they think, oh, I want to try that when it comes available. So it's a really nice app, and there's a lot of interaction in there. So that's what Untappd is if you're not familiar. And if you want to find out your Untappd year in beer, and if you already if you're using Untappd, then either go to the email that had the link and click it and then sign in to the website, or there was a link in the app that you could click and it would open the website on your phone, but I don't know if it's still there. Or just go to untappd.com /year in beer, and then you can check your own year in beer stats and find out. Now, in the beginning, when they first released it, it was broken. I believe it was Jay Collins, if I'm not mistaken. Again, my short-term memory is crap, and this was like a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago now. When they first released it, the stats weren't updating, and he submitted his to he shared it with on Twitter, and I went and clicked it because I wanted to see what his stats were. And I was going through and I said, yeah, it's broken for him too, not just me. So I felt better. It wasn't just me getting screwed with the stats. And then we were commenting back and forth because he, one of the things is the top 3 drinking buddies, and I was in his top 3 drinking buddies list. So I felt, it's kind of nice. At least that stat was in there at the time. And then Untappd Twitter account responded back saying, yes, we know the problem. It's being worked on. We'll get it done as soon as possible. So it was kind of cool. We had a little interaction. Untappd even joined the conversation. All right. So now getting on to my check-in. So looking at check-ins, I had a total of 270 check-ins. Not a lot. Now, remember, I typically only check into unique beers that I haven't checked into before. And I'll check into beers if the rating I'm giving the beer now is better or worse for some reason, I'll go in and make a new check-in, and I'll update how this new version is. Like, maybe in 2014, I had a really good version, but now in 2020, I have it again, and I'm like, whoa, something's wrong. They changed the recipe. I don't like it as much. I might lower it a little bit different rating and make a comment of what I didn't like about it. So I'll have a, 1 or 2 beers that aren't unique. And so I had one extra beer than my unique beers were 269. looking at breweries, my top 3 breweries. I've had beers from 105 different breweries, and now this is funny because the only reason the top brewery is the top brewery is because I went there and had a bunch of sample beers from them. So I think I had 12 beers in one night samples, and then I also have been trying. I went and was supporting them through the COVID and picking up beers curbside to bring back home so I could help support them. So I had 19 different beers from Barbarian this year. That was my number 1 brewery that I drank from as far as new unique beers.
Hang on.
What's
Joel, Joel, I guess the comments weren't coming up on the Facebook live stream, and he just texted me and said, check your chat. There's all these posts on there that says from Fermented Reality.
What's Untappd?
No, we've got all these. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but from what I can see right now, I take it back. This love stream gets 4.5 stars because Chris doesn't pay attention to the chat.
Wow, yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
When I'm talking, you should be paying attention.
I'm paying attention to you, Danny.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Well, hey, welcome, Joel. I'm glad you joined us. You can't get enough of us, right? You can't get enough of us.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week when we can give you a bad time live.
Yeah,
while we do it. But yeah, so I had 105 different breweries. Barbarian was 19 unique beers. Jim Dandy, 18 unique beers. Why is that special? Because I have to go to Jim Dandy to get their beer. So I could go all the way to Pocatello to drink their beers on tap. And I made a couple trips there. In fact, no, it wasn't this year. Was it last year I went there and interviewed him? No, I can't remember. Or was it this year?
I believe it was. Damn, this year's been a hell of a blur. Huh?
I think it was early. I think it was February this year. I think I did. You know what? My short-term memory is crap. I can't remember. But yeah, every time I go to Pocatello, and I did go a few times this year to help out my daughter, I go to Jim Dandy and enjoy their beers. And I had 18 unique beers from Jim Dandy this year. So wow, fantastic. And then of course, I do have a little bit of love for Revision Brewing with their IPAs. I had 13 of their IPAs. It's kind of changing because now I'm kind of getting out of the IPA phase of the New England style. So I think I've been passing on the Revision beers lately. I've been drinking other stuff. So maybe I'm kind of getting IPA'd out, which is surprising because my favorite style of the year was New England IPA. That's the one I had the most of according to Untappd. I did try 85 different styles out of 215 available. Wow. That's not bad, not quite half, but that's a lot of different styles of beer. So I'm not just drinking IPAs only. I'm drinking a lot of different styles. And then my top 3 drinking buddies. Now these are I don't know how they came up with these things. I think it's probably a combination of when you get tagged in as a friend, in there, and then probably how much interaction you do with comments and stuff. So my number 1 drinking buddy is my buddy Alex Fuchs from Israel. I love drinking with Alex, and we did. He did come to Boise this year during the summertime, and we did go to Barbarian, and we drank a bunch of beers there, and some at Will and Empire Brewery, and we did do some beer drinking. So he's my number 1. Then I had Tom Byrne. Hey, I love drinking with Tom Byrne. He's actually recorded with us in my house. He's brought me a number of beers. He's left beer mail on my doorstep for me. In the morning, I wake up and go out the door, and I trip over beer, and I'm like, Tom, you're so great. And I'm expecting some of that barley wine. Don't forget, it better be good. I'm looking forward to that barley wine. And then my 3rd drinking buddy, William Slimmer, listener, William Slimmer from Wisconsin. Fantastic. So that's great. All right, Chris. So how did you do in 2020?
So I did pretty good. Right behind you. Now, the only thing that I don't have is the top 3 drinking buddies. Are you a supporter for Untappd?
Mm-mm.
No? It was weird because nothing came up on my side for
wow, that is weird because because that was the one thing that was working in the whole stats thing from the beginning.
Of course it was.
Maybe you just don't interact as much as I do.
You know what? That could be very true. I know Florida Steve tags me in a lot of stuff. I don't really tag people in much. I'll respond to comments a little bit back and forth. But I really don't. I interact a fair amount, but I don't, not as much as like I would on Facebook or Instagram and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I don't have drinking buddies.
Okay.
So, all right. So, by the way, Mike Allen has already sent in his information for gift card.
Wow, he wants that thing fast.
I know. All right. So my check-ins that I had 224. Okay. But that's a number of unique check-ins that I had also. Yeah. So really, with me on Untappd, if I've had the beer already, I don't tend to check into it again.
Yeah, like me, I don't do it either unless I have to make a comment on it. So.
Yeah,
but so every beer you had this year, if you had it before, it was as good as you had before. You didn't feel like you needed to make any changes.
Yes, okay. I do go through and I will adjust things if I need to, but I don't really adjust too much.
Okay,
I really don't. There are definitely ones in there too. There are definitely ones in there that I have like tried and going, oh, I like this a lot more, or this one's still not good, and I just leave it alone, or I forget about it or something like that. Anyway, so 224 check-ins, 224 unique beers. The number of breweries, this is the only number I beat you this year, was 115. Yeah. 115.
That's good.
My top breweries were all here in Florida. Corporate Ladder had 16 of their beers.
Nice. And you have to travel, to Corporate Ladder to get those beers. Also, you can't buy them in the store, right?
Correct. Yeah. Right. They don't distribute to stores or anything. So I had to go to Corporate Ladder to get them. But normally when I go there, hey, give me 2 flights. So we can try a little bit of everything. So 16 at Corporate Ladder, 13 beers at Cigar City.
And those were all the
probably El Catador.
Yeah, because you drank one like every single show the whole year.
Yeah, for quite a while. I still got a bunch downstairs, but again, what we talked about with their new version, they give you 2 500 milliliter bottles, which is just freaking great. I absolutely love that because I had I had a barley wine from them the other day, and I didn't have to put down a whole 25-ounce bottle of it. It was 16.9 ounces of a 500 milliliter bottle. That was plenty. That was more than enough, and I still shared that bottle anyway. And my third most checked in brewery was Three Bulls Brewery Tavern. So I had 9 check-ins there, and that's just because it's right in the back of our neighborhood, and I like their food and their beer.
Good. Yeah. You've talked about them on the show many times, so that's great.
Checked into 75 different styles, so
that's really good. I mean, we're doing good on styles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't stick to one or even 2 dozen or so. That's a lot of different styles. My favorite style, which this makes me laugh considering what it was 5 years ago, the fruited Berliner.
Mm-hmm. And you're a sour guy now.
Nah, and you know what? So just like you are getting IPA'd out, I'm getting soured out. Yeah, I'm getting soured out. We had something while we were camping. It was a beer from Hidden Springs, and I know people kind of joke here locally about Hidden Springs. It's Berliners with a bunch of different fruits and lactose, and that's pretty much it. And they tend to sit a little sour on the stomach after a while.
Yeah, for sure.
But especially seeing that in comparison to what my style choices were maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah,
they definitely change. Or even this right here.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Joel, if you're still watching, thank you. This was phenomenal.
Oh, that was a gift from Joel.
This was my birthday gift.
Oh, nice. Wow. I was wondering who got that for you.
Yeah, I had to go somewhere near him. Oh, I had to go to Coppertail, which is just outside of downtown. And he said, "Hey, I need you to stop by the beer garden. I got some birthday and Christmas beers for you." Nice. Okay, well, I'm actually on my way to Coppertail, which is 3 minutes away. So stopped over there and we had some of that sit your ass down from
Yeah, fantastic.
crap. Who makes that beer?
It's other Against the Grain.
Against the Grain. There we go. Yep, had one of those. And then one of my new and noteworthy beers is in there that we got to try. And then he gave me this for my birthday. So thank you, Joel. This was freaking phenomenal.
Awesome.
But yeah, I remember that was like one of my very first emails that I sent to you and John. I don't like Belgian beers.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. I didn't appreciate Belgian beers until about, I don't know, 8 years ago. So I mean, I'm pretty new to enjoying Belgians, and now I love Belgians. I drink them all the time. I try all the ones that come through. If I know the brewery does good Belgian beers, I'll try it. Now, some breweries don't do very good Belgian beers. Nothing's worse than getting a Belgian beer that you get that Band-Aid plasticky funk out of it. And I'm like, okay, I can't drink this. It's not good. So yeah, there's some that don't do it well, but the ones that do it well are really, really good. So, okay, Chris, I have a question that I didn't put down for you to prepare for. So I'll go first with it. It's very simple. And you might have an answer off the top of your head, but you might not. But
if not, I'll make it up.
You can make it up. There's no right answer. It's what if you had to pick one beer resolution for next year, what would that be? And I'll go first because I'll give you a minute to think. So my one beer resolution, I think that I've decided next year I'm going to try to focus on more is I'm going away from adjunct beers. I'm going away from, I want to go back to beer basic and enjoy the beers that don't add coconut, vanilla, chocolate, coffee, raspberries, fruit, all this stuff in it, lactose especially.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to just the base beers, and maybe I'm going to be trying to drink more German beers that are just, pure beer, right? Because especially this, you made a comment. We haven't gone through our new and noteworthy yet, but you made a comment that, wow, you had a lot of new and noteworthy. I had probably 20 beers that I could have put on there, and I drank a bit when I was on vacation, and I found that I'm really getting burnt out on these adjunct beers.
Yep.
And I just want to, and when I'd have a beer that just was like a beer without fruit or just a beer, I'm like, wow, I really am enjoying that. So my 2021 is to try to focus on beers without adjuncts added. So there you go, Chris. What do you think?
Oddly enough that you say that, I found myself at Total Wine and More.
Oh yeah,
the other day.
Yeah. I mean, I saw all your stuff that you.
Yeah. That was exact trip. So when I was texting you, oh hey, I found this and I found this. I remember telling Megan, I was like, yeah, these beers are great. And then I went down the import aisle and started looking at stuff going, oh, I'd kind of like to give that a try. I want to give that a try. I'd probably say for the last 6 months now, if not longer, I have said the word beer or the phrase beer flavored beer.
Yeah.
So many times. And I would have to kind of join in with you of kind of that resolution of just kind of sticking more towards beer flavored beers. Now, because I've honestly looked at a lot of other beers lately, and I was like, oh wow, the can art looks great in this. Oh, and that just sounds like just overload. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd have to join in with you on that one.
Okay.
I really would.
Right. We'll do it. We'll join together and we'll try to keep each other focused on beer.
Okay. Well, let's do this since we do have a handful of people still on here, guys. If you have some 2021 beer resolutions that you might like to share with us, either share them with us on our social media, or if you're on Facebook watching us on Facebook Live right now, share them in the comments so we can kind of read those off, and maybe it'll point us to some more resolutions as well.
Okay. Well, I've learned my lesson not to make too many. Stick with one. I can focus on one. If I do too many, but hey, I'm really curious what other people like to do. I mean, I would like to say that I'm going to go out and visit more breweries this year than I did last year, but that's a given. Once
Yeah.
COVID's halfway through the year and things start to get better, people get vaccinated, it's not as, things get more normalized, then there's going to be more brewery visits. I mean, that's just that's what we do. And
Ooh, I've
I'm
got
going to go
another
back to
one.
it. Oh,
Visit
okay.
Boise and drink beer in Boise.
Yeah, well, it's okay if we wait till 2022 and things are like all clear. That might be better because
All
I want
right.
to take you around and not have to be worried about, you know, too many regulations and stuff. I want to have fun. So, but we could definitely plan that. Okay, so now it's time. Let's get on to our new and noteworthy. I'm going to go very quick, Chris. You have three, which we normally have. I have, I don't know, five or so, but I'll go really quick. So the first one, I gave a 5 cap rating to a beer, so I had to put that first. That's one of my Ashoof beers, the Cherry Shoof, Belgian fruited ale. And the reason why this gets a 5 is because you know what? Beers made with cherries typically are crap. This beer is so wonderful. It is like the perfect use of cherries that doesn't taste like medicine or cough syrup or anything. It tastes like sweet, delicious cherries in a nice Belgian light based beer, and it's fantastic. And I tried to find a reason why not to give it a 5, and I said, you know what? For a fruited ale beer, this is a 5. It's a perfect fruited beer in my opinion. So I gave it a 5. The next beer is a beer from a brewery that, well, it's from a brewery that I hadn't had any beer from before, and luckily our friends at Fermented Reality that we do the Fermented Reality Beer Cast with decided to send us some beer, and I got sent a 4-pack of 4 different beers from Civil Society in the Florida area. It's not in Tampa, is it? It's
Civil is down towards Miami.
towards Miami. So, and I've been seeing these beers posted a lot in the last year, especially, and people love them. And so I had 4 different beers, and they were all good, and a couple were better than average. So I'm talking about one of them right now. It's Civil Society's Never Fresher New England Double IPA, 4.75 cap rating, almost perfect. I probably could have made it perfect. I'm trying to remember why I didn't make it perfect, but man, this beer, what I love about this beer is it's a New England IPA. So you're used to having New England IPA be kind of soft and tropical, juicy and real smooth and finish maybe a little bit on the sweet side. This beer you put up to your nose, and as soon as you put it up to your nose, you're feeling like hot burn in your nose. You're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna kill me. You take a sip, and the first sip you take, because that hop aroma is in your nose, is like oh my gosh, this is gonna burn going down. But when you drink it, it doesn't burn. It's like a total fake out, and it has that sense of being burny, but there's no hop burn. But then the flavors just come out, and there's like a bunch of flavors that just like pop at different points of your tasting of this drink. Absolutely wonderful double IPA. I loved it. 4.75 cap rating. So Chris, did you like this one too? I know we had it on the show.
I actually left it out because you had already you had it in there, but man, it was so good.
Yeah.
I think I actually rated it the same as you did, either 4.5 or 4.75.
Yeah, fantastic beer. Okay, next one is from Mother Earth Brewing here in the Boise area, Napa. It's their 4 seasons of Mother Earth. We've talked about these beers. I get every one each season. This is the winter 2020 season. It's a barrel aged nitro mocha imperial stout. So Mother Earth, they mentioned this on the Brewnomics podcast. They interviewed one of the brewers and they interviewed a couple people from Mother Earth, and they talked about having a couple of their beers put on nitro in cans. Now, not using those little widgets that some nitro beers use, like Guinness. This is a process they're doing it, which is a different process. And I was skeptical, and that they did this beer in it, and they did Cali Creamin, Mother Earth's Cali Creamin ale. And I've seen those 16-ounce cans. I haven't tried one yet to see how it is. So I need to grab a 6-pack of that. but I'm always weary about nitro beers because it takes away a lot of the flavor. And I don't like nitro beers in beers like stouts because I like that robust flavor. I don't want it, beaten down. This beer, oh my gosh, it was perfect. The nitrogen worked. I followed the instructions. I hard poured the beer, came up. It cascaded just like the nitrogen did. It had that nice small bubble, big head that you couldn't. It's like dense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. But the real test is it going to be all like watery down and mild, or is it going to have robust flavors? I take my first sip. It's thick, rich, creamy, and chocolatey, and coffee, hints of coffee in there. It was like no flavor was lost, and it was so creamy. I loved it. I gave this a 4.5 cap rating, and I recommend anyone that can get this beer, you should grab it. It is fantastic, and the nitro works in this. And they made a beer that doesn't get dumbed down by the nitro. So I appreciate that too.
It's always good.
Yeah. All right. Next one is Bombastic Brewing. I've talked a lot about Bombastic. Once again, they're making great beer. I had 2 beers I could have put on here. I just put one because I'm trying to save time. It's their Attempted Murder batch number 2, cinnamon vanilla imperial stout, 4.25 rating. What's so great about this? It's a solid, rich, thick imperial stout, and it's got the roastiness of the imperial stout. It's got the chocolate character, a little bit of chocolate character, and it has very mild cinnamon and vanilla, just enough to say, yeah, I taste a little cinnamon in there, and oh yeah, and it finishes with a little vanilla character. Really well done. 4.25 rating. And the last beer, I had other beers rated higher than this one, but I had to talk about this. I talked about it on the Beer Cast, but I want my listeners of Tap to Craft to also know I had my first Maine Beer Company beer, again, for Minute Reality, sent this to me. Joel, thank you. It's, again, I've been wanting to have Maine Beer Company beers for a long time. I figured I'd finally get it when I go to Maine and visit Allagash and do that tour. It's their lunch IPA. And this IPA, what do we say? It was like a 9% IPA.
It's like 7. It's
7. It's like
crazy.
Well, it's not crazy, but it's higher than I would think it is, because this is a super like delicate, feels sessionable IPA, but it has a nice flavor, like a nice West Coast flavor, a little floral hop character in there, not over the top bitterness, just enough bitterness to say, yeah, I got some bitterness in there, but I'm not sweet. And I've got good hop flavors, a little bit of pine, a little bit of citrus, it's got or floral and pine. It's just really good. I thoroughly enjoyed every sip of it. But again, the way I rate was my IPAs is that I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 cap rating, but again, to get up into that 5, I need a little bit more. I don't know. I have beers in the 5 range of IPAs that I think are better, but this is a beer that even though it's 7% or whatever ABV, man, I feel like I could drink a 4-pack of this easily because it's so drinkable. Really, really good. And I'm glad I finally got a chance to have some Maine Beer Company beer.
Yeah, one of the ones that they make is probably one of my favorites. Is called Spring, which is so it's very, very similar. I mean, all their IPAs that I've ever had from them are just out of this world, just good. And grabbing those when I see them, I buy them anytime I see them. I don't even question. It's just like, oh, yep, we'll take that one. We'll take that one. So,
yeah.
All right. So on my list, like I said, you had that Civil Society Never Fresher.
Mm-hmm.
I would have put that on there too, because that one was damn good. The first one is going to be I believe this was an Imperial Milk Stout from Lakewood Brewing Company. Now, because I'm falling behind and not really keeping up with my beers that I'm checking into here and giving notes about, they made a beer called the Temptress. And the Temptress was just kind of a whim, just one of those, the label art has a stripper on it, let's buy it. Right? So the English, come on, you can do this now. Lakewood Brewing Company is out of Garland, Texas. And the Temptress is an Imperial Milk Stout. and they said in their notes on Untapped, this Seductress is like dessert in a glass. It pours like with a thick milk chocolate head. Chocolate and caramel malt give it a complex and rich body. Lower carbonation gives the beer a silky mouthfeel. This beer clocks in at just over 9%, Denny, and it was so easy to drink. It was a little on the sweeter side, but I can definitely tell that caramel, that chocolate. There's a little tiny bit of roast in there. But man, this was a pretty damn good beer.
Nice.
Gave it 4 1/4 caps, and like I said, it was just on a whim. I bought it because it's the like the mud flaps on a truck. They've got like the lady lane. Yeah. It was basically that with a stripper pole. I was like, well, let's buy it. Let's give it a whirl. Next beer is from Civil Society. Their Navy Camo. And the Navy Camo right up there with you on that
Never Fresher.
Never Fresher. There we go. I cracked open that can and cheers to the guys over at Fermented Reality Beercast for sending that over to us. Oh man, that one was really good. It was so super simple, but it was everything I wanted an IPA to be, right? You have that hop smell in there, and it's not like sticking inside of your mouth all sticky and just over the top, 8, 9. Well, this was an 8.5% beer, but like nothing huge. It was a double IPA, but it didn't have any of those like lingering bitterness. It didn't have it didn't have any hop burn in it. And it said it was brewed with 2-row and oats and aggressively hopped with Montuca and Amarillo hops. It was just so good. It was we were sitting out on the back porch talking with you guys, and it disappeared rather quickly.
Yeah. And I enjoyed that one too. And at
8.5%, disappearing quickly. That evening was fun. Let's just put it that way. And the last beer I want to talk about is going to be Black Note Stout from 2016. This was a beer that Joel shared with me when I stopped over to pick up my birthday beer from him, and it was from 2016. It's from Bell's Brewery. I've had Black Note before. It's been pretty good. This, because it has sat for 4 years now, was absolutely perfect.
So it's smoothed out and just took on more rich characters, some complex characters that weren't there before.
It really did, right? So, and he kind of put it the best way I could even ever explain it. He said, when you drink a barrel-aged beer, you taste the beer, you taste the barrel. Sometimes if it's been aged long enough, you start to get that intermingling of flavors where it's not all beer and it's not all barrel. They're starting to combine pretty well. This one did exactly that. It was just, when you drank it, it wasn't, oh yeah, there's the roast from the stout, and then there's the the vanilla and the oak from the beer. It had mellowed out a lot. There was more chocolatey flavors to it, but there was also a little more of that tannin from the oak that was in there. But it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I gave it a 5 cap rating, and if I could get a hold of more bottles of 2016 Black Note Stout that were stored appropriately,
not in the sun.
I would get them. I really would.
Cool.
I really would.
Nice. Those are some good beers right there. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Hey, we're running a little longer than I was hoping. So let's wrap this thing up. Before we wrap it up, it's always nice to go ahead and give a little cheers and a little toast to some of our listeners out there, or whoever you like to give a toast to. So, Chris, who would you like to give a toast to tonight?
I definitely want to raise a glass to Jeff Seiler. Jeff, again, thank you so much for that beer. It was really cool to step into my office the other day and just, there's a box here. It was addressed from Jeff and his wife, and the card, man, just that simple gesture of just a handwritten card. That was great. and then there was beer under it. Man, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for that. So cheers to you, Jeff. What about you, Denny? Who would you like to raise a glass to?
Yeah, it's funny because I had already had Jeff Seiler as our Patreon toast. So cheers to you, Jeff, for being a Patreon supporter. I already had you written in there before I even got the package today. But like Chris said, I just repeat what he said. We've already, really showed that let you know that we appreciate it, and we truly do. So cheers to you. And then I'm gonna have another toast that goes out to my good friends who are joining us on the video call tonight. My buddy Amit Siani and his wife Odelia. They're in New Mexico, and they have us. He sent me a WhatsApp images of them drinking, having us on the big screen in their house, and toasting us in front of it, and watching us record and commenting in the questions. So cheers to you, Amit and Odelia. Come visit me in Boise when things clear up, and maybe we can find some of that Mustache Ride Black Rye IPA to have, or maybe I just need to send you some beer mail down to New Mexico, so you can try it. But it is a great beer, and Amit, I think you would really enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. All right. And of course, being a former serviceman, I always want to raise my glass and thank all those who have served and are currently serving in the U.S. military services, protecting our freedoms. With all these freedoms, Chris and I wouldn't be able to do this live on air on Facebook, right? We probably wouldn't have those freedoms. So cheers to you guys. Please come back home safely to your families very soon. And Chris, why don't you go ahead and give a toast out to our sponsors?
Sure can. At the forefront of the craft beer movement, Brewer Shirts was one of the first to create apparel that celebrates the art of brewing and the love of fine beer. Never too trendy, always comfortable, and offering affordable quality, they screen print their gear by hand in their studio using eco-friendly inks, materials, and processes. Visit their online store at brewershirts.com and use the coupon code TAPTHECRAFT2020 to receive 15% off full-priced items.
All right. And you can find the beers mentioned on the show in our show notes, located on the show post at tapthecraft.com. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, I can be found on Twitter, Instagram, and I'm tapped at Loose Screw. Chris, how can our listeners follow you?
So you can find me hardly ever on Twitter at Chris_McKenzie82. You can always find me on Untapped and Instagram, though, at MCK1345. And then, of course, guys, you can find us everywhere Tap the Craft related on social media at Tap the Craft.
That's right. All right. It is last call. It's time to bring the show to a close. We ask you. Oh, wait. Bleep. We wanted to thank you for downloading and listening to the show. We ask you to please tell a friend about our show. And of course, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Play, Castbox, Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and now Amazon Podcast, or however you listen to your podcast. And as a reminder, we release a new show every 2 weeks. Now go out there and spread the good word of craft beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.